Why should the American people trust you more than your opponent to deal with this public health crisis going forward? In this case, the question goes to you first, sir. 2 minutes uninterrupted.
Good luck. 200,000 dead. As you said, over 7 million infected in the United States. We, in fact, have
Thanks to China.
4% of the world's population, 20% of the deaths. 40,000 people a day are contracting COVID. In addition to that, about between 750 and 1,000 people a day are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said, it is what it is.
People
Well,
die
it
every
is what it
day.
is because you are who you are.
Sleepy Joe.
That's why it is. The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as acknowledging he knew it. He said he didn't tell us or give people a warning of it because he didn't want to panic the American people.
That's
you
true.
don't panic. He panicked. In
No, he
addition to
didn't.
that, what did he do? He went in and we were insisting that the Chinese, the people we had in the
Chinese.
China should
He called
be
them
able to go to
Chinese.
Wuhan
Did you hear
and
that?
determine for themselves how dangerous this was. He did not even ask Xi to do that. He told us what a great job Xi was doing. He said we owe him a debt of gratitude for being so transparent with us. And what did he do then? He then did nothing. He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan.
Wrong.
I laid out
Sir,
back
it's
in
just 2
March
minutes.
exactly
So-
what we should be doing. And I laid out again in July what we should be doing. We should be providing all the protective gear possible. We should be providing the money the House has passed in order to be able to go out and get people the help they need to keep their businesses open.
Yeah, but the
Open
numbers keep
schools.
going
It costs
up.
a lot of money. You should get out of your bunker and get out of the sand trap and get in your golf course and go in the Oval Office and bring together the Democrats. and
Yeah,
Republicans
Obama
and
played golf
fund
more than
what needs
anybody,
to be
Joe.
done now to save
You know that.
lives.
So if we would have listened to
You
you,
have 2 minutes, sir.
if we would have listened to you, the country would have been left wide open. Millions of people would have died. Not
Damn right.
200,000, and one person is too much. It's China's fault. It should have never happened. They stopped it from going in, but it was China's fault. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand. But if you look at what we've done, I closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist, and he's xenophobic because you didn't think I should have
unrelated to
closed
your
our
COVID.
country.
Wait a minute,
Wait a
sir.
minute.
It says 2 minutes.
You didn't think we should have closed our country because you thought it was terrible. You wouldn't have closed it for another 2 months. By my doing it early, in fact, Dr. Fauci said, President Trump saved thousands of lives. Many of you Democrat governors said, President Trump did a phenomenal job. We worked with the governor. Oh, really? Go take a look. The governors said
Trump
I did a
doesn't care if you
phenomenal
laugh
job.
at him.
Most of them said that.
Trump
In
doesn't
fact,
care.
People that would not be necessarily on my side said that. President Trump did a phenomenal job. We did. We got the gowns. We got the masks. We made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators. And now we're weeks away from a vaccine. We're doing therapeutics already. Fewer people are dying when they get sick. Far fewer people are dying. We've done a great job. The only thing I haven't done a good
Sleepy
job
Joe.
is because of the fake news. No matter what you say to them, they give you bad press on it. It's just fake news. They give you good press. They give me bad press because that's the way it is, unfortunately. But let me just tell you something. I don't care. I've gotten used to it. But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job that we did.
Yeah,
You don't have it
right.
in your blood. You could have never done that job.
I know how to do the job. I know how to get the job
Well, you didn't do
done.
very well in swine flu. H1N1, you were a disaster. You
Oh!
were a disaster.
14,000 people died, not 200,000. There was
A
no
very-
economic recession.
Sir, you made a
Far
there was no
less lethal
recession.
you
disease,
made a
by the way.
point. Let him answer.
And there was no one. there was
Swine
no one who
flu?
shut
Wasn't
down
that about
the
Hillary
economy.
Clinton, that pig?
This is his economy that's being he shut down. The reason it's shut down is because, look, you folks at home, how many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID?
Not
How
me.
many of you were in a situation where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to them? You had a
No,
nurse
they
on
lost
the
their
phone
98-year-old
so you could, in
fucking
fact,
old
say
person
goodbye.
who's gonna
Lost
die
far
anyways.
more
Many
people.
people.
Far
That is-
more people. You would have been
And by the way,
months late.
your own,
You were months behind me,
his
Joe.
own CDC director says we could lose as many as another 200,000 people between now and the end of the year. And he held up. He said, if we just wear a mask, we can save half those numbers. Just a mask. And by the way, in terms of the whole notion of a vaccine. We're for a vaccine, but I don't trust him at all, nor do you. I know you don't. What we trust is a scientist.
You don't
we
trust
Dr.
Johnson &
Fauci.
Johnson, Pfizer?
And
Okay,
by the way,
gentlemen, let me move on to
Trump's getting annoyed
because you both have touched on one of the two of the questions I'm going to ask. Focusing on the future first, President Trump, you have repeatedly either contradicted or been at odds with some of your government's own top scientists. The week before last, the head of the Centers for Disease Control, Dr. Redfield, said it would be summer before the vaccine would become generally available to the public. You said that he was confused and mistaken. Those were your two words.
Yeah.
But Dr. Slaoui, the head of your Operation Warp Speed, has said exactly the same thing. Are they both wrong?
Well, I've spoken to the companies, and we can have it a lot sooner. It's a very political thing because people like this would rather make it political than save lives. It is a very political thing. I've spoken to Pfizer. I've spoken to all of the people.
Is
that you have to
Kamala
speak to. We
Harris
have great
really a reptile?
Moderna, Johnson & Johnson.
That's what I want to
and
know.
others. They can go faster than that by a lot. Become very political because the left, or I don't know if I call
So
them
you're
left, I don't know
suggesting
what I
that
call
the
them.
head of your Operation Warp Speed, Dr. Slaoui?
I disagree with him. Yeah, no, I disagree with both of them. And he didn't say that. He said it could be there, but it could also be much sooner. I had him in my office 2 days ago.
He talked about the summer, sir, before it's generally available. Just like
He
Dr.
said it's a
Redfield.
possibility that we'll have the answer before November 1st. It could also
I'm
be
talking about
after
when it's
that.
generally available. not when
Well,
it will
we're going to
be.
deliver it right away. We have the military all set up logistically. They're all set up.
This
We
guy's
have our
obviously
military
on the
that
fucking
delivers
left,
soldiers,
this
and they can
moderator
do
guy.
200,000
You
a
want
day.
Trump to
They're
fail.
going to be
this is the
delivering
same man
It's
who
all
told
set
you
up.
by Easter this would be gone away. By the warm weather, it'd
Well,
be
listen,
gone.
Biden is
Miraculous,
fighting
like a
back.
miracle.
He must have
And
took
by the
some
way,
dick
maybe you could
pills
inject
before
some
this,
bleach
but
in your arm, and that would take
still
care
can't
of it.
debate Trump,
This is the
though.
That
same
was
man.
said sarcastically,
That was
you
him.
know that.
I-
That was said sarcastically.
And so here's the deal. This man is talking about a vaccine.
Wait, is this Bob
Every
Barker?
Serious,
Oh,
every
that's
serious
Biden.
company is talking
He
about
does look like Bob
maybe
Barker.
having a vaccine done by the end of the year. But the distribution of that vaccine will not occur until sometime beginning or the middle of next year to get it out, if we get the vaccine. And pray God we will. Pray God we will.
Mr. Vice President, I want to pick up
You'll have
on
the
that.
vaccine
I
sooner
want to
than
pick
that.
up on this question, though. You say the public can trust the scientists, but they can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed.
Muzzled.
Given the fact that polls already
Muzzled.
show that people are concerned about the vaccine and are reluctant to take it, are you and your running mate, Senator Harris, contributing to that fear?
No more than the question you just asked him. You pointed out. He puts pressure and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying you
Everybody
can't, or
knows.
Senator
And-
Harris is saying you can't trust the scientists.
No, you can trust the scientists. She didn't say that. You can trust
She said the public health
Did say
experts,
that.
quote, will be muzzled.
Trump,
suppressed.
Trump's happy now. This
That's
guy
what he's
is
going to try to do. But there's millions of scientists. There's thousands of scientists out there, like here at this great hospital, that don't work for him. Their job doesn't depend on him. That's not. They're the people. And by
I
the way,
spoke to the
and Fauci,
scientists that are in
by
charge.
the way,
They will have
and
the vaccine very soon.
Let him finish.
do you believe for a moment what he's telling you in light of all the lies he's told you about the whole issue relating to COVID? He still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew this was happening.
Well, listen,
knew
I'm just
how
gonna say, I'm
dangerous
glad
it
these
would
two
be
guys are white.
Back in February.
That's all I
and
can
he
say.
didn't
What?
even
Wait, who
tell
said
you.
that?
He's on record.
I didn't say
as
that.
saying it. He panicked, or he just looked at the stock market. One of the two. Because guess what? A lot of people died, and a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
So-
Mr. President?
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated.
Look
you
at
were the
Trump
lowest
digging
or
up all the
almost
dirt.
lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate.
And if
We'll
you
see
would have
who's-
had, let me just tell you something, Joe.
No,
if you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
You see,
and it's
We're going to
going
get
up
to the
fast.
economy in the next segment, sir.
Okay.
It's going up fast.
Okay.
Look forward to talking.
When it comes to how the virus has been handled so far, the two of you have taken very different approaches, and this is going to affect.
We have to get
how
rid of all the
virus
Chinese
is
people.
handled
That's
going
what we got to
forward
do. I'm
by
sorry.
Whichever of you ends up becoming the next president. I want to quickly go through several.
Actually, let's get rid of the
reopenings.
joggers first.
Vice President Biden,
Then the
you have
Chinese
been
people.
much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening the economy and schools. Why, sir?
Because he doesn't have a plan. If I were running, I know what the plan is. You've got to provide these businesses the ability to have the money to be able to reopen with the PPE as well as with the sanitation they need.
PPE.
You have to provide
that
them
to Nancy
plastic.
Pelosi.
Please just shush for a minute.
Ooh.
Nancy Pelosi and Schumer,
by the
Brian
way,
Chuck.
Nancy Pelosi and Schumer, they have a plan. He won't even meet with them. The Republicans won't meet with him in the Senate. And he sits in his golf
I'm outta
course
here,
and
folks.